Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of New World. In last episode, we saw massive expansion across the world, the development of the nuclear bomb. 4 countries have already developed them. Keep in mind, in this world, this is like before World War II in our timeline. So, what is the repercussion of the development of these nuclear weapons? Well, a lot of alliance members of both alliances are gonna leave as a result of this. This turquoise team is gonna leave the alliance, the WDC. This communist orange team is gonna leave the Communist Pact. These 2 countries are gonna leave the WDC. And most surprisingly of all, this green team's gonna leave the WDC, despite them getting so much support and aid from the Western Union. And not only that, they're gonna tell their colony up here, you're no longer a colony. You're officially part of us now. So that means you don't have a capital. Why would you think you need that? And the capital's erased. Not like the whole city. Just gotta plop a new one down real quick. Right there. That was really close to the city for some reason. I did a really good job with this one. They also have all of these countries have been expanding on their cities and their new area since the recent expansion. So yeah, now that a lot of countries have nuclear weapons, the whole world's like, oh no, this is bad. We should try stop this. But these 4 like, nah. We all want nukes. And yeah. But the screen team's not having that. They wanna make sure no nuclear bombs end up in this unexplored area. So they are gonna set out on a massive expansionist conquest. No, well, not conquest, since it's unexplored land. And they're gonna ask these 2 neutral countries right here for help with it. They'll gladly help. They'll send aid, supplies, and people help the screen team settle this land very quickly. Faster than the GU can sell this. Mainly because it's people trying to run away from this mess down here. And they're eventually able to get all the way up here. Until they send out another group of people to voyage all the way up here, just see what they have there. There's a lot of fertile farming land up here, and they eventually span across this whole northern coast while they're setting up. This is how I make the borders look a little cleaner. Well, in my opinion, they look cleaner when it's a little less sloppy. So yeah, this country just got formed, and of course they're gonna need a capital right away. And their capital's actually gonna be all the way up here. Now, GU's gonna be like, yeah, you might have bought this off here, but we're still the GDU. We're still the most powerful democratic country in the world. So we're gonna spread democracy over. Why is this not working? Okay. Oh, it's because I'm still in. Right. So they're gonna spread their democratic ideals all the way to this river. They're gonna go through the river and no, over the river, through the woods, to Grandma's house we go. But not to Grandma's house. No, they're taking over all of these rivers right now. They're taking full control over like all this water in this area. They love water for some reason. They're gonna take all of this. They're expanding really rapidly. Now, when countries expand too much and too rapidly, that could potentially lead to unrest. Are they gonna experience it? Who knows? But it's not a good idea on their part to do all this expansion, especially right after forming this massive union. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. I want to do this. Have their borders stop at the rivers instead of going all the way around them. So yeah, the GU's now humongous. Like, well, oh no, they're gone. Nobody cared. So yeah, that's the GDU now. And they're getting way too big. And a lot of countries see this and decide, you know what? We're not communists, but we don't like what the GU's doing. So, a lot of neutral countries are gonna join the Communist Pact. The Green Team joins the Communist Pact. This new country up here joins the Communist Pact. And most surprisingly of all, the Lime Team over here joins Communist Pact. And the Communists are gonna rebrand the alliance to the Anti-Global Expansion Pact. The AGEP. Or not that. Not the Anti-Global Expansionist Pact, but that's a good name. The Anti-Expansion Pact. Despite the communists being expansion, they don't want the Democrats to expand. Speaking of expansion, somebody might have sailed across the ocean and settled a new world that was previously unsettled. the communists, the pink communists have sent ship through here all the way to here. Yes. And the pink communists have landed here, but more so to set up a new settlement here. They're gonna keep going until they find this river. They're gonna follow it completely. No, I've ruined everything. They're gonna basically go like this. They're gonna take all this and the capital of this new communist area. Need a capital. The capital is going to be right here for this country. And then another group that doesn't like communists but want new land. And the communists are actually quite fine with this because that means GU doesn't get it. Another group's gonna pop out and come across this river to this river, take all of this panhandle, go down, follow this river till they hit here, then the final border will look something like that. Then a third group is going to branch off from them into this area, go up here, meet this river that GU has control over, all the way up until here, take all this land. Now this is costing many countries millions of dollars to do, but if it means not letting the GU expand, the anti-democratic expansion alliance supports it. As long as these three countries are either monarch, communist, or fascist. And let's see what they all end up being. And shit, they're all communists. And not just that. All three of them are gonna join the anti-democratic expansion alliance. So, yeah. Now the World Democratic Council is a little scared because now they're and now with all these events in last 2 years in this world, the World Democratic Council is now outnumbered. The GU decides to do something about this. They've recently expanded land. It's gonna hurt them economically and could potentially lead to civil war. But if they break these regions up into different democratic countries, they could possibly continue to have support in these areas. So that's exactly what they're gonna do. So this. Oh wait. Let me check state. Yeah. One sec. So, despite getting all this land this episode, the GU's gonna release this land as a new pro-GDU Democratic country. They're gonna release this land as another pro-GDU Democratic country. And, actually, I'm gonna give them this area as well. And then the GU is gonna release this area as another pro-GDU Democratic country. This is where all their capitals are gonna be. And of course, like I said, they're pro-GDU Democratic countries. But all three of them are not required to join the World Democratic Council, but two of them do. The Slime team and this Lavender team. So now it's 9 countries in WDC and 12 countries in the ADEP. That's terrible acronym. Basically, 9 on Democrat side and 12 on Communist side. Now I say Democrat, but of course there's some monarchs in the WDC, right? Well, monarchy has recently become a dead theory in this world. And all the remaining monarchist countries are gonna flip to one ideology or another. This pink team will become a democracy. This green team, a democracy. This blue team, democracy. This turquoise team, democracy. Now, what about the rest of the countries, including the ones that just recently joined communist side? Well, they'll all flip into communism. The lime team hates monarchy and hates the World Democratic Council, so they're communists now. This green team right here just recently formed, but its people want communism. In this northern country is communist also, because that's how they were founded. So yeah, the world is looking pretty tense. There's only 2 ideologies in this world: democracy and communism. And they're gonna try to deter each other. Now, how they're gonna do that? Well, of course, they're gonna increase their nuclear counts. The peach team is gonna develop 4 more nuclear bombs. Let me make this a lot larger. I want to make it a different color as well, not black. Actually, yeah, black. So 7 nukes are in this country now. This pink team now has 3. The GU now has 5. And the Red Empire, the most interesting one, now has a whopping 10 nuclear bombs. But sadly, it's not just these 4 with it, because somebody's been feeling a little left out on world activities. Now, they're an alliance, but they don't like how one of their former allies have become communists, how this team took this colony for themselves, and how some of these areas have flipped to communism. So the Western Union's gonna be like, you know what? we've been waiting long enough, not because we haven't been developing them, but because we've been developing more powerful ones. The Western Union tests its first nuclear bomb, and compared to other ones, it's a lot more powerful. Because these aren't just regular nuclear bombs, these are thermonuclear hydrogen bombs. And the only country in the world that have them is the Western Union. But they only have a remainder of one. Because these take a lot more effort to develop and research. So, yeah. And how do communists feel? Well, they feel threatened. They see a country that doesn't have any nukes or aren't line, so they give the Peach team the go-ahead to invade. And that's exactly what they're gonna do. So the Peach team will enter this green country and in a full-out offensive, take these two cities, enter here, take this city. And now this green team's regretting leaving the alliance, because they're getting folded, especially up here, where they kind of stand no chance. This core of their military is down here. The Peach team's gonna continue. Wait, is it doing this? They're gonna continue up here. They're gonna get close to up here, but eventually take it. So they fully occupy this area. And as they get closer and closer to the capital, they're gonna stop. Now, why is that? Well, there's a city here. And, yeah. They recently developed their nukes. And, oh, Peachy, what happened to your nukes? Oh, there they are. They fired 3 of their nukes right into these last 3 remaining cities. And the world is absolutely shocked and horrified by what the communists just done. And in response, the Green team will unconditionally fully surrender to the Peach team. And now we'll look at the peace treaty. The Peach team will fully annex the Green team, despite half of it being a Eurasian hellhole. In fact, let me just put in perspective how this Eurasian is. The Eurasian is like this in this area. There's some radiation here from this nuke. Here. Here. All 3 of these countries get affected by it. But this hydrogen bomb? Oh boy. That radiation's a lot bigger. Bigger than the Western Union expected. Anyone else? Don't. Yeah, delete that since that's on the Navy layer. So yeah, the Peach team has just used nuclear bombs in warfare. And how is the rest of the world gonna respond to this? Well, the GDU's gonna pump a lot more research into the nukes and start working together with the Western Union to increase both their nuclear counts and the yield of their nuclear weapons. The GDU and the Western Union are going to skyrocket in their nuclear development, and now the GDU has more powerful nukes. Not as powerful as the Western Union, though. Like, compared to these ones, no, wrong, incorrect. You've messed everything up. So they're a little bigger than these ones. Let me use color. So they're a little bigger than these ones, but not as big as these ones. Right? That's how they look. And the GU's gonna threaten these two neighbors with nuclear war if they ever invade. So the Red Empire's gonna be like, you know what? Bet. The Western Communist Empire is gonna send 4 of its nuclear bombs to its allies. 2 to this orange team and 2 to these 2. And unlike Adizzpro series where they need like the host country to approve the launch, these guys can launch anytime. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nuclear powers in the world. And the world is slowly approaching World War II. And it could possibly even end the entire world. See you guys next time.